Good evening, I am Jarvis Barney with your VON Major News Package for today, Wednesday, 10th April 2019. In all lead stories nationally, over $7 million dispersed in the first 4 months of the Poverty Alleviation Program, and the public urged to comply with safety and security rules at the airports here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Regionally, Belizean law enforcement officials arrested in Guatemala on gun and ammo charges. Internationally, Netanyahu set for record fifth term in Israel election. And in sports, Virat Kohli achieves double honor as Wisden 2019 Cricketers of the Year is published. We'll have details to these and other stories after this message.
Another look.
Different from how you've seen it before.
Another look.
Takes an in-depth look into business, politics, science, technology, religion, and more.
Another look.
Featuring documentaries from the BBC, regional features, and local ones too.
Another look.
Every Monday at 3 p.m. on the Eastern Caribbean's powerhouse, Vaughan.
Welcome back, and now on to the national news in detail.
To date, my government has assisted, according to the Accountant General, 3,848 households. The average monthly disbursement, according to Mr. Bradshaw, is in the region of 1.9 million, and the total processed by the Accountant General's Department for the 4 months, December up to March 31st, is put at around 7.7 million.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. Prime Minister gave this update on the Poverty Alleviation Program, which was launched in December 2018 during his monthly press conference on Tuesday, 9th April. Households earning less than $3,000 a month are given a monthly stipend of $500. Dr. Harris was asked if that program is sustainable.
We are a thoughtful government, and we took the time to do the analysis. Interestingly, the actualized or the figures that are being realized in terms of expenditure, they are falling almost bang in keeping with what the Ministry of Finance has provided in the budget. And so I think we have provided about $24.75 million for this program. It just show you how accurate we are in our prediction.
Prime Minister and Minister of Finance, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris. The Department of Civil Aviation here in St. Kitts and Nevis is urging the public to comply with all safety and security rules as required at the Robert L. Bradshaw and Vance W. Amory International Airports. In a statement released on Tuesday, 9th April, the Civil Aviation Division, CAD, is advising that portable battery chargers, battery-powered e-cigarettes, vaporizers, vape pens, atomizers, and electronic nicotine delivery systems are now prohibited from checked bags. The announcement comes several weeks after smoke was seen emanating from an American Airlines plane that was at the RLB International Airport. Reports that an e-cigarette caught fire in one of the bags of an outgoing passenger. The department has recommended that travelers must ensure batteries are removed from chargers, the contacts wrapped with tape and placed in individual plastic bags to protect from short circuit. It is advising persons to ensure that cords are disconnected from chargers when traveling. It says this is in accordance with ICAO technical instruction for the safe transport of dangerous goods by air as outlined in Part 8, Document 9284 and 8973, Appendix 12, IATA Dangerous Goods Regulation 2.3 and St. Christopher St. Kitts and Nevis Regulation 13 of 2012-41. two of the Federation's diplomats have been awarded for exceptional diplomatic service. His Excellency Dr. Kevin Isaac, St. Kitts and Nevis' High Commissioner to the United Kingdom UK of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and His Excellency Dr. David Doyle, St. Kitts and Nevis' Ambassador to UNESCO, United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, were awarded at a welcome reception and cultural delights at Government House on Monday, April 8th, as part of the activities to mark Diplomatic Week 2019, which runs from April 7th to the 12th. In presenting the award to Ambassador Doyle, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Aviation, the Honorable Mark Brantley, noted his success in securing a seat on two occasions in the past 12 years for St. Kitts and Nevis on the executive board at UNESCO, and more recently, in winning a seat on the prestigious UNESCO World Heritage Committee. High Commissioner Isaac has been a career diplomat for 27 years. In 1992, he joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in St. Kitts and Nevis after a stint in teaching. He has been St. Kitts and Nevis' High Commissioner to the United Kingdom and Northern Ireland for 8 years. He is also St. Kitts and Nevis' permanent representative to the International Maritime Organization IMO, St. Kitts and Nevis' non-resident ambassador to the Socialist Republic of Vietnam, and St. Kitts and Nevis' governor on the Board of Governors of the Commonwealth. Dr. Isaac has been very instrumental in championing the cause of the Windrush generation in the United Kingdom. In police news, 25-year-old Kevin Hamilton of St. Paul's was sentenced to life imprisonment on April 5, 2019. He was convicted on November 29, 2018 for the murder of Ernest Hendricks on July 7, 2015. The court commented that murder with a firearm places that type of murder into the worst of the worst. The court further argued that his seemingly good character or attempt at rehabilitation whilst in prison cannot overshadow what he did. Meantime, Jason Liddy, who was convicted on February 22, 2019 for the offenses of rape, housebreaking and larceny, was sentenced this week. He was sentenced to 6 years for housebreaking and larceny. He was also sentenced to 19 years, 11 months and 6 days for rape after the time he spent on remand was deducted. Both sentences are to run concurrently, commencing from the date of sentencing, which was April 8, 2019. The offences for which he was convicted were committed on March 13, 2017. The High Command of the Royal St. Christopher and Nevis Police Force RSCNPF has received praise for their crime-fighting efforts in the first quarter of 2019 specifically. Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, announced the major highlights of crime statistics for the first quarters of 2019 as the High Command met with Cabinet to deliver the information regarding the crime statistics for the first quarter of 2019. The statistics showed a major decrease in overall crimes, including major crimes with a reduction of some 39% compared to the same period in 2018. Statistics from the police force revealed a significant 39% reduction in major crimes within the Federation. Major crimes include homicides and other major crimes, leading to the overall reduction in major crimes in the Federation from 580 during the first quarter of 2019 to 352 for the comparative period this year. The statistics revealed a significant reduction in crime on both islands, with a 42% decrease in St. Kitts and a 21% decrease here on Nevis. Residents and visitors of St. Kitts and Nevis will for the first time have complete eye care services offered at one location. This comes as the Development Bank of St. Kitts and Nevis partnered with optometrist Dr. Jose Ann Cochran. Precision Optical, located at Taylor's Range in St. Kitts, offers both optometry services such as eye exams and opened its doors to the public on February 4th of this year. Partnering with Dr. Jose Ann Cochran is surgeon ophthalmologist Dr. Marianela Morales from Antigua. Dr. Jose Ann Cochran is originally from Antigua and is the only U.S.-trained optometrist who is also licensed in the USA, practicing in the Federation. With regards to the partnership, Dr. Cochran said, "When I was thinking about the venture, I went to several different institutions and I had a very favorable response from the Development Bank. The loan was approved, and according to Dr. Cochran, there were two parts to the loan. One part was for the purchase of optical equipment, while the other part was for renovations, as the building she had identified in Taylor's Range needed quite a bit of renovation to make it user-friendly for its new purpose. The Ministry of Tourism here on Nevis will tomorrow, Thursday 11th, be holding a stakeholder meeting with regards to the Pinnies Recreational Park. The meeting will be held at the Red Cross building on Main Street in Charlestown, beginning at 10 a.m. At the meeting, the ministry will seek to update the public on the way forward with regards to the construction of the park. A drawing of the plan for the 14-acre facility will be presented to the public. Over the past few years, there have been a number of controversies surrounding the development of the park, one of which is funding for the development of the park. The construction of the park was first announced to the public in 2014. And lastly, in our national news segment, as the Nevis Culturama Committee prepares to host its Culturama 45 festivities, and as the Department of Water works to reduce the wastage of water here on the island, concerns have been raised with regards to the wet fete on the calendar of activity for C45. At his last press conference held on March 26th, Premier Brantley was asked by the VOA Newsline, does the committee plan to go ahead with the wet fete activity during this drought period? This was the Premier's response.
I think that is something we'll have to deal with closer to the time, because we don't know what's going to happen in terms of the water situation. It may well be that this period that we're going through, that it turns around, because clearly we may get substantial rainfall that comes. And so we will be closer to that time able to say whether or not that event will move ahead as planned, or whether there will be some adjustments in the context of saving water. So I don't want to prejudge that at this point, because I think that event is still several months away from today.
The Honourable Mark Brantley. In March 2019, the Nevis Water Department issued an advisory of interruptions of water services at various locations on the island. The department noted that these interruptions were in an effort to conserve the water here on the island, while urging the public to exercise all water conservation practices. And that's the national news segment. You can visit our website at www.vonradio.com, or you can check us out on Facebook at Von Radio or our Von Radio YouTube channel for these and other stories. News from across the region is next.
Ladies and gentlemen, this here's another one for the steppers.
Swipe to win big in 2019. That's right, the Bank of Nevis Limited is once again giving you, our valued customers, a chance to win big. Just swipe or use your Bond Visa credit card for US $100 for a chance to win a cruise for two, an iPhone XS, or a grocery dash at Best Buy Supermarket.
Say what?
Sign up for a Bond Visa credit card and automatically be entered for a chance to win. This offer ends August 31st, 2019. So tell your friends and family to swipe to win big with the Bank of Nevis. The Bank of Nevis Limited, improving the quality of life. Like us on Facebook or follow us on Instagram.
Welcome back, and now on to the regional news. A Trinidadian man has been accused in the United States of plotting to plow a stolen van into a crowd at a large shopping and entertainment compound outside of Washington in what prosecutors said was an ISIS-inspired attack. According to court documents, 28-year-old Rondell Henry, a naturalized U.S. citizen who lives in Maryland, allegedly admitted to the plot after being arrested on March 28th. The charging documents have only just been unsealed. He has been charged with interstate transportation of a stolen vehicle and faces up to 10 years in prison if convicted. Although Henry faces no terrorism charges, court documents detail terrorism-related accusations. According to prosecutors' detention memo, Henry stole a U-Haul van with the intention of using it as a weapon against pedestrians on sidewalks within the National Harbor complex along the Potomac River in Maryland. Prosecutors said that for 2 years he harbored hatred for those who do not practice the Muslim faith. Additionally, allegedly inspired by videos he watched of foreign terrorists, he decided to conduct a vehicular attack similar to the 2016 truck attack in Nice, France, for which ISIS claimed responsibility. Out of Belize, 2 members of Belize's security forces are among 4 men who have been detained in neighboring Guatemala and slapped with firearm and ammunition charges. The Ministry of National Security confirmed in a statement issued that Police Constable Fabian Laurie and Coast Guard Officer Seaman Pedro Colomer that's actually along with 2 civilians, Kevin Hernandez and Gerald Laurie, were detained by police last weekend. The 4 have been charged with possession of firearms and ammunition without a license. The ministry said that neither Laurie nor Colomer was on official duty at the time of the arrest, and it was unclear that what the 2 officers were doing in Guatemala. All 4 men were at Guatemala's main prison in Puerto Barrios, where they are awaiting trial. Out of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Speaker of the House of Assembly Jomo Thomas and Member of Parliament St. Clair Leacock may be heading for a showdown when Parliament resumes on Thursday, May 2nd. Leacock, the Member of Parliament for Central Kingstown, has decided to remain seated during the prayer session in Parliament as a form of protest. This has been ruled as being against the rules of the House. In 2018, the Speaker allowed the government members to amend a motion of no confidence in the government, which had been tabled by the opposition New Democratic Party NDP, into a motion of no confidence. The Speaker gave his ruling last week, Monday, April 1st, during a sitting of Parliament, after which Member of Parliament for Central Leeward Sir Louise Straker pointed out that Leacock's protest was not in keeping with House rules. The opposition members say that decision by the Speaker was unconstitutional. And lastly, in our regional news segment, out of Jamaica, Parliament's Public Accounts Committee PAC has indicated its intention to summon Petroleum Corporation of Jamaica PCJ Director Lionel Myrie to answer questions about a $9 million donation by the State Oil Refinery to Sydenham Citizens Association in St. Catherine. The involvement of a PCJ board member in the redirecting of sponsorship funds from one St. Catherine Citizens Association to another was raised in the Auditor General's December 2018 report, stemming from an investigation into operations at Petrojam and its parent company PCJ. According to the Auditor General's report, after requesting donation of $9,381.50 for additional construction works at its community center in March 2017, Citizens Association, a month later, advised the company that it had engaged a contractor to execute the works and asked that all payments be made to the contractor. However, Petrojam presented a letter dated July 5, 2017, purportedly from Citizens Association, indicating it was no longer interested in the sponsorship. And that's it for our regional news stories. Stay with us for news around the world. Welcome back on to the international news. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is likely to secure a record 5th term after almost complete results from Israel's election suggested a new right-wing coalition. His Likud party is expected to finish with the same number of seats as former military chief Benzi Gantz's centrist Blue and White Alliance. A coalition between Likud and smaller right-wing and religious parties could control 65 of the Knesset's 120 seats. In a late-night speech to supporters, Mr. Netanyahu claimed a colossal victory. Exit polls had earlier predicted a tight race with no clear winner. Astronomers have taken the first ever image of a black hole which is located in a distant galaxy. It measures 40 billion kilometers across, 3 million times the size of the Earth, and has been described by scientists as a monster. The black hole is 500 million trillion kilometers away and was photographed by a network of 8 telescopes across the world. Details have been published today in Astrophysical Journal letters. The parliament in New Zealand has voted to change the country's gun laws following the killing of 50 people in an attack on two mosques last month. All but one legislator voted to tighten the regulations, which will ban a range of semi-automatic weapons. New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern welcomed the passing of the bill.
Mr. Speaker, we are ultimately here because 50 people died and they do not have a voice. We in this House are their voice. And today, Mr. Speaker, we have used that voice wisely.
And lastly, in our international news segment, the International Monetary Fund (IMF) has warned the international financial system is becoming more fragile, threatening to worsen any future economic downturn. The warning came ahead of the IMF ministerial meetings in Washington. The BBC's Andrew Walker reports.
IMF officials say that business debt in the United States is at an all-time high. In China, bank profits are declining, while many of them have low levels of capital, a financial cushion that helps cope with losses. And the IMF says in several European countries, banks are overloaded with government bonds, which were badly hit during the Eurozone crisis. The IMF says these are not all setting off alarm bells yet, but if these vulnerabilities continue to build, they could amplify any shocks to the global economy, increasing the risk of a severe downturn in a few years' time.
And that brings us to the end of our news segment. The latest in sports is next.
Need a car but don't quite have the deposit? You don't need a deposit with Suzuki Sign and Drive at TDC Automotive. I've been waiting for this moment. Choose your Suzuki vehicle, sign up and drive out. Get a brand new vehicle with 0 deposit, 5 years warranty, 1 year servicing, special finance and insurance, free flat screen TV with 3 months Flow TV package, free undercoating, free car care bundle, and so much more. Come in, sign up, drive out. Suzuki Sign and Drive at TDC Automotive. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome back, and now for the sports. In cricket, Virat Kohli's reputation as the outstanding cricketer of his generation has been further enhanced by a brace of accolades in the 2019 edition of Wisden Cricketer's Almanac, which is published today. Kohli, who will lead India's World Cup campaign in England later this year, has been named as the leading cricketer in the world for an unprecedented 3rd year in a row. He has also achieved one of the few accolades to have eluded him in his career so far by being named as one of Wisden's 5 Cricketers of the Year, the oldest individual award in the sport. Jos Buttler and Sam Curran were also named among the 5 cricketers following their key roles in England's summer campaigns alongside Rory Burns, Surrey's championship-winning captain, and Tammy Beaumont, the outstanding player in another successful year for England's women. Kohli's fellow Indians, that's actually Smriti Mandana, is the leading cricketer in the women's game after racking up 1,291 runs across limited overs formats, including 13 half-centuries, while Rashid Khan, the Afghanistan leg spinner, is the leading 2020 cricketer for the 2nd year in a row. In basketball, Los Angeles Lakers legend Magic Johnson has resigned from his job as the team's president of basketball operations. The Lakers have failed to reach the playoffs for the 6th year in a row. Johnson, who played a key role in bringing LeBron James to the team last year, broke the news before the 104-101 defeat by the Portland Trail Blazers. He was quoted as saying via a news conference on Tuesday, "I had more fun when I was able to be the big brother and the ambassador to everybody." Johnson said he had not wanted President that's actually Genie Boss, of his decision to bring his 2-year reign to an end. Johnson, who said he had grown tired of the backstabbing and the whispering this season, also suggested he did not want to have to make a decision over the future of coach Luke Walton. In athletics, an Ethiopian runner who brought the world's attention to a wave of protests in Ethiopia at the Rio Olympics has been rewarded by his government. Fayesi Lelesa, who received $17,000, said his struggle had paid off given new freedoms in Ethiopia. The athlete had held up his crossed wrists as if they were shackled as he took marathon silver in 2016 in protest at the treatment of demonstrators. He had remained in exile for 2 years, saying his life might be in danger. Still in sports, in baseball, the U.S. has cancelled an agreement that allowed Cuban baseball stars to sign with American teams. The deal meant players no longer had to defect from communist Cuba to join Major League Basketball MLB teams. Signed in December, it enabled players to reach the U.S. without resorting to human traffickers. And lastly, in our sports segment, in golf, Tiger Woods believes he can break his decade-long drought in the majors and win a 5th Masters title this week. The 14-time major champion, who last won at Augusta National in 2005, has not won any of golf's 4 majors since claiming the 2008 U.S. Open. After back surgery, he returned to form in 2018 with a special win at the Tour Championship after competing at the Open and U.S. PGA Championship. Woods, who has had surgery 4 times to solve back injuries in recent years, has climbed to 12th in the world rankings. Nobody in the current top 11 has won the Masters. And that's it for sports. The weather is next. Welcome back. Tonight's weather will continue to be fair with a 10% or a slight chance of overnight showers. The weather tomorrow will be mostly sunny. The winds are east to east-southeast at 19 to 33 kilometers per hour or 10 to 18 knots. The seas are 1.2 to 1.8 meters or 46 feet. The sunrise tomorrow will be at 5:59 a.m. And that's how we wrap up the major news package for today, Wednesday, 10th April 2019. Before we go, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Nationally, over $7 million dispersed in the first 4 months of the Poverty Alleviation Program, and the public urged to comply with safety and security rules at the airports here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Regionally, Belizean law enforcement officials arrested in Guatemala on gun and ammo charges. Internationally, Netanyahu set for record 5th term in Israel election. And in sports, Virat Kohli achieves double honor as Wisden 29 Cricketers of the Year is published. On behalf of the rest of the news team, I am Jarvis Brown wishing you a pleasant evening.